Hey guys, welcome to my channel PhD in Simple, where we like to keep content simple and to the point. So let's get straight into it. Having worked in recruitment for over 4.5 years, specializing in the engineering sector, I'm hoping this video can hopefully help some of you guys who are looking at a job in recruitment or possibly going into the industry itself as a career. So very briefly, when you guys join a recruitment agency, you typically join as either a resourcer or a trainee consultant or a recruitment consultant. Now the resourcer's role is typically just finding candidates and sourcing candidates for the positions that they'd be working on. Now a trainee consultant or a recruitment consultant does the full 360 role. They find the candidates, but they go out and actually bring on new business and win clients on, and they try to fill the jobs themselves, or they either pass it on to a resourcer to fill for them. Now let's talk about some of the pros and cons of working in this industry. Number one, and one of the key reasons why people get into recruitment is because of the money. Now they will be paid a basic salary, however, because they have a commission structure in place, it allows them to earn a lot more than the average person working a 9 to 5 on a basic salary. Now your commission structure is all dependent on the company that you work for, but essentially they would give you a percentage of how much you expected to bill for the company, and that varies from month to month and depending on your target. Now top billers usually earn a lot of money because they're willing to work a lot harder than most of the guys, but once they get really good at the job becomes a lot more easier for them and they're a lot more efficient at what they do. Number two, someone who's a people's person might really enjoy this job. They might find some sort of satisfaction and reward within it, mostly because when you're interacting with clients and candidates, you're essentially finding a candidate a life-changing job, something that they feel very happy about, and essentially makes the recruiter happy. Now, don't get me wrong, not all recruitment consultants care about this. Essentially, once they get used to making placements, this isn't the number one priority that they really care about. For them, it's more about just making the placement, hitting their target, and trying to be a top biller within the company, essentially. But someone who likes interacting with people, making clients and candidates happy, this could be something that they would really like as a career potentially. Number three, recruitment is a very learnable skill. Anyone can do it essentially. If you're someone who likes interacting with people and likes speaking to them, then this job is something that you would pick up quite easily. The job itself isn't actually really hard. All you're essentially doing is winning new business, bringing on new clients, finding out the requirements, what kind of staff they need, and then you have to go away and use different CV databases to find these candidates. So as long as you're willing to speak to people and you like interacting with them, it's something that you could really pick up quite easily. Number four, recruitment is a service always in demand. Companies are always looking for staff. Now, where there's loads of companies that won't be willing to use a recruitment agencies because of their fees, there are always companies all around the UK and all over the world that are consistently looking for staff that they just can't find themselves. So they would have to use a recruitment agency and pay that fee. Another great thing about recruitment is you can work remotely. Now, because of COVID, a lot of jobs have become a lot more remote. So as long as you've got an internet connection, you can pretty much do the job from anywhere. Now let's go through some of the disadvantages of working in recruitment. Now some people say every day is different in recruitment. However, it's actually not. That's a lie. The process and the job itself is actually quite repetitive. From finding clients to winning new business and then trying to fill these vacancies that you have on with new clients and existing clients, the role itself can be quite repetitive and it might not be something for everyone. Now the second disadvantage, and it's something you guys might have heard, that it is long hours. It's not a typical 9 to 5 job. Depending on the industry that you specialize in, for example, someone might do nursing as an industry or the healthcare industry, and you are expected to speak to candidates. You know, clients might call and say, look, the candidate hasn't showed up, what's going on? So you have to take care of these problems just to make sure that the client is happy. So a lot of the times you are actually taking the work home, and it's almost like you're on call most of the time just to make sure if there's any hiccups or any issues, you need to be there to take care of it. And the last disadvantage, and probably a skill that is absolutely required for this kind of career, especially in recruitment, that you have to be resilient and mentally tough. Now, one of the reasons for this is you're dealing with clients, you're dealing with candidates, and candidates, a lot of the time, you're just dealing with emotions. You've had interview after interview, and even the interviews might not go so well. You might have 4 interviews lined up and only 1 candidate shows up. And then you might have the perfect scenario where, the candidate has passed the screening process, they've answered everything correctly, they've smashed their interview, and then they've accepted the job. But come Monday morning, he doesn't pick up the phone. So now you've let the client down, you spend weeks just, trying to fill this vacancy. And, it might be a vacancy where it could have potentially hit your target, depending on what the fee is worth. So at this point, you need to be able to bounce back from these kind of situations and be quite resilient and mentally tough. Because on the one hand, you've got the client who's quite unhappy, so you have to maintain that relationship. And then on top of that, you need to go away now and find another candidate who can potentially get this job. So the job itself can be quite mentally draining, and you need to be able to deal with rejection all the time, especially in a recruitment environment. Sum up, just remember guys, it's a great industry to work in. It's always busy, depending on the sector that you specialize in, whether it's engineering, technology, accountancy, nursing, teaching, whatever the sector, you can still make a ton of money within the sector, but you need to come with the right skills and attributes. You need to make sure you're resilient, driven, ambitious, money motivated, and you need to be able to deal with rejection and bounce back from these kind of scenarios. Thank you for watching guys. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, as I will be uploading regular content, and comment below if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer anything, and stay tuned.